Cushman, the legend in the plans. Please listen every day to the showcase. The opinions and knowledge that anyone can take. Showing you how it is done. Proving I am number one. What a legend becomes. This is now my time to show you that I am here. This podcast just to make it loud and clear. By the fans, for the fans. Not many whose head can understand everything pro wrestling. It can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people. The best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin. The opinion and the lesson. Yes.
Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. I'm your host, Conrad Cushman. I am flying solo today. We are here to give you Royal Rumble 2022 preview and predictions. I don't expect this to be a long show, but I did want to come in here and give you my Royal Rumble thoughts before the big show coming up this Saturday. So, if you guys are listening to this and you enjoy the podcast audio versions, please leave us a 5-star because this is going to be an exclusive episode just for you guys. And if you guys want, go to YouTube, type in Everything Pro Wrestling if you haven't already, and give us a subscribe on there. We just released a video with Ray from Respect the Craft talking WWE 2K22, all of the good, the bad, and the questionable coming up with that game. Definitely some good things coming up down the pipeline. Also coming up on YouTube this week, we will have a review for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this Saturday. And we are going to be having an AEW Beach Break review for tomorrow night's episode of Dynamite. Join us live on YouTube following the conclusion of the show. Usually around 10:05 p.m. we'll hop on Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys are there and in the chat talking it up with us. But let's talk Royal Rumble 2022. We've got a different kind of card right now. WWE is in a state of flux right now. We don't know exactly what they want to do. What is the end goal? What is the plan? It seems like it's to get over new stars, and I do predict that we're going to have a lot of new stars to be made, I guess is the best way to put it, from NXT 2.0. But I don't know if a lot of fans are happy right now. We're not seeing what WWE is trying to paint for us right now. We're not seeing the picture yet. So it's kind of still give it some time, but that doesn't mean some things aren't interesting when it comes to this show. Let's start off here first with the mixed tag team match they've been building up. Edge and Beth Phoenix will take on Miz and Maurice. This is kind of what was it? The It couple versus the Grit couple. And Miz and Maurice, the It couple, they've always done phenomenal work when they work together. I really like the pairing of these two. Obviously, they've gotten some promotion for Miz and Mrs. I don't know if that show is even still on, but they're obviously looking to make some moves. And we have Edge and Beth Phoenix. Edge has just had a great run since he returned to the Royal Rumble right before this pandemic started. Been amazing. Beth Phoenix is in there as well. In my opinion, I think as much as some people would like to say, oh, Miz needs this, I think you got to give it to Edge. Edge really hasn't won too much as far as big matches since he's come back. He's gotten some wins here and there, but he's done a lot of helping other people become elevated as well. So more props to Edge. I think that Edge and Beth Phoenix take this one. Pretty simple here. It doesn't even matter who gets the pinfall in all of this. That's how I see it. So that should be fun. We have the Raw Women's title match with Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. I hate calling Piper Niven Doudrop, by the way. It's just not, I don't even see the point of it still. But I'm glad to see her get an opportunity here against Becky Lynch. I want to see what she can do when given the opportunity on the main stage. So I think this is a chance to prove herself. Becky Lynch has WrestleMania already written down for her. She's going all the way. Think about this. Becky technically has not lost since WrestleMania 35. If you just say her time in WWE while she was there, she's kind of been on this roller coaster, just riding it through. Yes, she did give up the title to Asuka, and there was that whole ordeal, but her first match back, she takes the championship, she wins. It works. So that's a greater story I feel like they want to tell with Becky. But since she came back since SummerSlam, ugh, I don't know, man. It's just not the same character. I'm not feeling this. The heel turn feels forced. I still think people want to cheer Becky Lynch. And she said that she turned heel because she saw what Roman was doing. And I don't think that was the same thing, though. It's just not the same wavelength. People were connected with you still. And I thought Becky still had more time as a babyface. But she felt differently. We'll see. But give me Becky Lynch to get the victory here in this one. Next up, we have the Universal title match, which will be brother versus brother. Seth freaking Rollins versus Roman Reigns. The SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, are banned from ringside. So Seth has made sure that they are taken care of, and the Usos will not be ringside for this matchup. Interesting. I could see it happening. But what are we going to do here is key. Seth Rollins, in everyone's mind, should be the favorite to win this. Why? Because he's always beaten Roman Reigns. That's the story they're telling here. Roman has never been able to conquer Seth in the process of just trying to get to where he's got to go. Seth has always been there to ruin it. WrestleMania 31, Seth did it. Even when they faced each other, I believe it was at a Money in the Bank show, then Moxley cashed in. It was the exact same thing. Or Dean Ambrose at the time cashed in, I should say. Seth has always just had the upper hand in this feud with his former tag partner. Can Roman do it alone? I have a feeling Paul Heyman might get involved in this one to make sure that Roman Reigns can get the victory here. I'm not feeling this whole Seth Rollins character. I know some people like it. Some people are digging the theme. I don't know. It's just not clicking for me. I think Seth's a great wrestler. I would put him in there absolutely against main eventers, but I just am not feeling the gimmick. It just doesn't make sense how this all came together. He was the Messiah, then that changed to now he's the Drip King or whatever. Like, I don't know what we're doing here with Seth. And I think we have to define his role going forward. That's just how I feel when it comes to that matchup. And next up, we have the WWE title match, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. This is a dream match. A dream match for most wrestling fans, I'm telling you. A lot of people really want to see this happen. And I'm up there with them. Like, this is kind of one of the matches I'm most looking forward to. I want to see what these guys are going to do. You've got two big dudes going in there who are just going to freaking fight, and that's what we want. But is that the match we're going to get? Sometimes we've had quick matches with Brock. Other times we've had it. I think these guys can go at it, and I think you could even do some type of big spots with them. They're both athletic as hell. They can do a lot of things. I like the potential in this matchup. The bigger question is, what is the story to tell? Brock is with Paul Heyman once again, and Lashley has MVP. Bobby Lashley seems like he's going to be going babyface. He got rid of the Hurt Business. I feel like they may interfere in this matchup here just to be a thorn in Bobby's side. And we're going to see what happens with MVP. Does he go babyface with Lashley? Does MVP turn? Is there someone else that MVP's got his eye on that he could manage? Time will tell. Then we have Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, he was feuding with Roman. It looked like we were going to get a title unification match. I'm starting to fear that that's not going to be the end goal. I think that they're going to want to do something else to provide a little more oomph to that match. But this is going to sound different because Brock Lesnar is someone you usually pick, but I'm going to take Bobby Lashley to become the new WWE champion in this match. I feel like they're just on Bobby Lashley right now. He did a great job with the title. He's someone you could put in there. He's someone who could get the job done. And I think Bobby Lashley as a babyface makes for an interesting run. Raw needs something. Raw needs some type of injection into it to make this show fun. Like this week's episode, yeah, it had some good wrestling on it, but the show needs that, like, what's the hook? Why am I watching this? What's the storylines happening? Some of it's just kind of like, oh, okay. It's very, very, what's the word I want to say here? Very expected. Like, you know what you're gonna get out of this. Like Brock telling the corny joke to Lashley. Lashley needs this win. This feud has done nothing for him since then. Like Lesnar is basically just, I don't have to pay attention to him. He's Bobby Who. That's been the whole comment. And I think coming out of this, Lashley either has to come so close to beating Lesnar, or he's got to wreck this dude and just become the champion. Those are the only ways you can do this. So I'm expecting to see one heck of a fight when it comes to this. Should be a lot of fun. Now, before I get ready to get into the Royal Rumbles, I do want to get a word from one of our friends, which is the Everything College Basketball Show. And I'm going to kick it right over to Josh right now, and then we'll get into the Royal Rumbles.
What's going on, EPW Nation? It's your boys from the Everything College Basketball Podcast, Josh and Peyton, here to remind you all that college basketball season is right around the corner. Yes, we finally know it's right around the corner, and Peyton, there's only one place people should go for all the college basketball excitement.
Well, Josh, the only place to find all college basketball hoops all the time is Everything College Basketball. Everything College Basketball can be listened to on several podcast hosting sites like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And we can also be found on our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Everything College Basketball.
Yes, make sure you are joining the group with a couple other 100 people and growing by the day as we march into year number 3 of the Everything College Basketball networking system. Now, let's get back to Conrad and Everything Pro Wrestling.
All right, everybody, we're back. Just like Josh said, March Madness is coming up, so make sure you check out Everything College Basketball. Lots of fun over there. They always have some cool contests going on, some things you can get into, and even if it's later on, it's always fun just to participate in the group. So check them out, Everything College Basketball. Getting back into the Royal Rumble event, what is the main reason why we all love this pay-per-view? It's the Royal Rumble matches. It's sometimes hard to predict who's going to win. That makes it fun. You also never know who you're going to get showing back up. Maybe you'll get a former name. We've had some announced. We have a lot of things that could happen with this. And the first matchup that I'd like to talk about will be the 30 Women's Royal Rumble match. This should be a lot of fun. Some of the names that we have in here right now, and I'm looking at Wrestling Inc. for this. Shout out to them. We have the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Nikki A.S.H, WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, and they wrote Hall of Famer on all of these. I'm not going to keep saying that. Shotzi, Natalya, Michelle McCool, 24/7 champion Dana Brooke. We have the Women's Tag Team Champions Carmella and Queen Zelina, the Impact Knockouts champion Mickie James, and no, I did not say that wrong. Someone from Impact Wrestling is going to be in this Royal Rumble match. Dude, that's freaking cool. And I hope they have more surprises in store. I was kind of sad that they spoiled it on air for it, but cool to have Mickie James in the Royal Rumble match. Tamina Snuka, Kelly Kelly, Aaliyah, Summer Rae, Naomi, Shayna Baszler, Lita. Lita's going to be in this, which is fun. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and there's still 9 participants to be announced. With Mickie James, like I said, I'm real happy she's back. I'm also a little hurt too, because I thought Mickie was so upset with the way that they treated her when they left. They must have came to some kind of agreement. I hope there was a conversation at least had about how she was treated on her way out last time. And I hope there were a lot of apologies that happened, but they got rid of the person supposedly that did that. Needless to say, Mickie James will be in the Royal Rumble, and I think it's cool that they reached out to Impact to do something. I'm with it. So in this Royal Rumble, who wins? Charlotte Flair's in here, and she says that if she wins, she can pick her challenger. I don't see Charlotte winning. We've heard rumors of a possible Ronda Rousey return. Could we see that happen? Maybe. Maybe if she wants to come back. I feel like Ronda's time wasn't as enjoyed as most people would think. You know? I feel like she just did not like what was going on in WWE, and it was maybe either a lot more travel than she thought, or it just wasn't as fun as she thought it was going to be. And that's got a lot to do with the environment. So does that make her want to come back? Rhea Ripley looked great on Monday Night Raw, by the way. I really feel that Rhea Ripley should be in a higher elevated status than she's in, but she's kind of in a storyline with Nikki A.S.H, so I feel like those two cancel each other out. To me, the layup pick is Bianca Belair, and that's who I'm going to predict wins this. I know some people are saying it's got to be somebody who's one of the participants. Someone could make their big return. Maybe Sasha shows back up. I do believe Sasha Banks is injured. I don't know why they would put something out like that so early. I think Sasha's not going to be there. Bianca is the easy pick for me because Bianca needs that story of going through it, and that's who I want to pick. But you know what? I might just go bold here. Bianca won last year. Can she be the first person to do it back to back is the question. Interesting. Because I do feel that she is going to want to challenge Becky Lynch for the title. That's the story. Becky Lynch beat her in 10 seconds or 13 seconds, whatever it was at SummerSlam. Bianca has to get her redemption at WrestleMania. That's the easy story to tell. To me, you could also have Bayley win. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair would be an interesting matchup. I don't know if Bayley would come back and be a babyface instantly. What happens to her character? Ding dong. I don't know. I don't know what would happen with that. I'm a huge Bayley fan though, and I think Bayley could definitely do something fun. Makes it interesting. I'm gonna stick with Bianca Belair. I'm gonna go that Bianca Belair makes history and wins back-to-back Royal Rumbles. We haven't seen that in a while, and I think it'll work in this situation. That's the best story to tell, in my opinion. And I'm interested to see who some of the other names to be announced are. So, Royal Rumble match, always fun, and we can always enjoy that one. But listen, guys, I'm going to take a quick water break, and I'm going to give you guys one more ad, and then we're going to finish off this Royal Rumble preview and predictions. And I want you guys to check out my good friends from the Pro Wrestling Shoot, Jesse and James. Here's their ad, and then we'll be back to review the men's Royal Rumble.
What's going on, Everything Pro Wrestling listeners? This is Jesse Carter over at the Pro Wrestling Shoot podcast. The Pro Wrestling Shoot podcast covers interviews from your favorite independent wrestling stars, along with some current AEW, Impact, and former WWE stars. We also cover some of your favorite classic pay-per-views from WWE, WCW, ECW, and Impact Wrestling. We also cover some current reviews on all AEW, WWE, and NXT pay-per-view events. Come check us out on all your favorite audio podcast platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast. Follow us on our Facebook and Instagram pages over at the Pro Wrestling Shoot, and follow me on Twitter at Carter Inc. That's CARDERINC. All right, let's get back to Conrad and Everything Pro Wrestling.
Big shout out to Jesse and James of the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I want to thank you guys for having me on your last episode with the podcast award ceremony. If you guys haven't listened to that, go back and check it out. They're doing a really cool What If series right now. Lots of good stuff coming from the Pro Wrestling Shoot. And I also want to give a shout out to my good friend, part of the Six Pack, Sean Hubbard from Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. We are also going to be doing a preview and prediction show for the Royal Rumble. We'll see if my mind changes over the next couple days, but we're going to do that on Thursday. So make sure you guys are checking out Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. He's got you covered for all combat sports. Got to show love to my brother over there. So let's get into this Royal Rumble match here. The Royal Rumble match is one of the most anticipated matches of the year. You got 30 people coming in, buzzers going off, surprises everywhere, craziness could be happening, and hopefully it's a good Rumble. Rumble's one of the best pay-per-views just to watch with casual fans or anybody, because people go crazy for this. Let's look at who's in the 30-man Royal Rumble. So far, names that we know. We have Johnny Knoxville, Yes, the guy from Jackass. We also have Austin Theory. We have Rey Mysterio, Dominik Mysterio, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Sheamus, the WWE United States Champion Damian Priest, AJ Styles, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Sami Zayn, Madcap Moss, Happy Corbin, Kevin Owens, Omos, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Randy Orton, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Otis, and we also have Chad Gable, who is the other half of the Tag Team Champions in there, and we still have some superstars to be announced. Right now, everything that's going on, let's look at Johnny Knoxville's kind of in a feud with Sami Zayn over everything that's been happening. Sami Zayn is the wrestler. He doesn't want anybody from entertainment getting into his business. It's the usual stuff going on with that. We could see some interesting things. I think you could do a bait and switch in there with Knoxville as well if you needed to. Want to see what happens with that. Austin Theory, he's been feuding with Finn Balor, but I'm going to predict something in this match to happen. By the way, Finn Balor's not in the Royal Rumble? This has to be a mistake. We have to have Finn Balor in here, right? I don't see his name. That's crazy in my opinion. He's got to be one of the superstars to be announced. So with Austin Theory, I'm going to say that he gets eliminated by the U.S. champion Damian Priest, and this will lead to a match between Austin Theory and Damian Priest at WrestleMania. Next up for people to talk about, we have AJ Styles, and I think he is the wild card or the dark horse pick for me who could possibly win this. AJ fits into a lot of scenarios. He could get that big elimination on Omos, and then all is well, and he could be on to going up against the World Heavyweight Champion on Raw. You could do that, and WWE Champion, I should say, excuse me. Big E's another person that he could win this, and you could prop him up even higher than he was before. Big E does solid work. What do you do with that? Kofi, we had the run with him before. I don't see anything with Kofi right now. King Woods is out. He's injured. So I want to see what Kofi does in there. He's always solid, but I don't think Kofi's winning this year. We discussed Sami Zayn, Madcap Moss, and Corbin. The less said, the better. Kevin Owens is he should be in there. He should make things quite interesting. I also see him getting eliminated by Damian Priest as well. Omos, I could see getting the Diesel push where he's just eliminating people left and right, and he'll be the only one left in the ring at certain points. Ziggler and Roode should be a lot of fun. I could see them getting into it with like the Mysterios or Orton and Riddle. Orton and Riddle, I could see an elimination. Maybe we'll start to see some friction between that team. Maybe. We have Otis and Gable who will be in there as well. Superstars to be announced. Who knows? We have one Impact person in the Women's Royal Rumble. Why not add a few more? You could have a Moose show up and be in there. They have other people that are in Impact Wrestling that were in WWE. Supposedly, we had the former Iconics turn down WWE being in the Rumble. Maybe Eric Young would do the same thing. I don't know. But I think a Moose, the Impact World Heavyweight Champion, would be a fun person to have in there. Explore your options. There are rumors that somebody they're going to try and get some people to do this and get some shocking surprises. We'll see. We'll see. Always interesting to see who shows up at the Royal Rumble. But you haven't said your pick yet, and I'm getting to that right now. My pick to win the Royal Rumble this year is going to be Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar will become a 2-time Royal Rumble winner here. He will lose the belt to Bobby Lashley, find a way, I think, like I said, with the shenanigans with Knoxville and Sami Zayn, he will find a way to enter himself into this Royal Rumble match, and he will become the number 1 contender and go to WrestleMania to challenge Roman Reigns, leaving Paul Heyman to wonder, what do I do? Because in my predictions, he helped Roman earlier in the night, and I think we will have ourselves a huge Universal title match set for WrestleMania. And let's see what they do with that going from there. But that's enough about me. Guys, make sure that you give me a follow on all social media because I want to hear your predictions for the Royal Rumble. Find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere you guys are looking for me. It's at EPW Show. Give me some of your Royal Rumble predictions, maybe some wild card picks. I would even like to hear who's going to have the best elimination. Tell me anything about the show. What you're looking forward to? Anything. So find me on there, send me a message, give me a request if you haven't already, or give me a follow, and let's talk some wrestling, man. For myself and the rest of the EPW Nation, I want to thank you guys for listening to this short episode of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for supporting EPW, and don't forget to check us out and leave that 5-star rating for us on your way out. Peace.
Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes. By the fans, for the fans, not many in this can understand, this the podcast to show you who I am, Conrad Cushman, the legend in the plans, please listen every day to the showcase, the opinions and knowledge that anyone can take, showing you how it is done, proving I am number one, what a legend becomes. This is now my time to show you that I am here. This podcast just to make it loud and clear. By the fans, for the fans, not many who's here can understand everything pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinion and the lesson, yes. Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes.